Dexter Season 8 episode review video. Before I get into that, though, it'd be important. If you are caught up to the point where I am and rewatching or watching Dexter, or you're just entirely sure, then you definitely need to take the initiative and pay attention to the episode's title, which of course I'll mention, as well as put in the description for you. If that happens to be the case and you're not caught up, it would be my recommendation that you don't watch this video any further to avoid any potential spoilers. This will be Dexter Season 8 Episode 5. The title of this episode is called This Little Piggy. And this will be my review, reaction, recap after just finishing watching the episode last evening. And what I'm going to do at the end of this video, I'm going to put my original review of this episode, just to do that for the rest of the videos, if I remember, for Dexter, just so you could see how terrible my quality was, how dark my lighting was, because I usually did my reviews of the episodes at night, like really late at night, like midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. And I didn't use a regular microphone. I used the webcam mic, and you can certainly see the difference. So I'll put that in there if you want to check that out. It'll be in the end credits. So Dexter and Deb are in therapy with Dr. Vogel after Deb tried to kill Dexter. He tells Deb that he's been trying to protect her. Dexter is pissed. Deb said she did what she did because she just found out that her dad had killed himself over the guilt he felt for Dexter. Deb did save Dexter's life, so that was Deb's first step towards recovery. Dexter says he's so fucking happy for her. Sounds like something Deb would say. Dexter wants to get back into hunting a serial killer. As he leaves, he tells Vogel to make sure that she writes that down because he's tired of being a case study for her, because that's what he kind of is for her. Deb says she's never seen Dexter that mad. I don't think we have either. Jamie tells Dexter she's thinking about having Cassie over for dinner. Her and this obsession with Cassie, she says that Dexter hasn't had anybody aside since Hannah, and she wants Dexter to meet new people. And all Harrison can do is think about watching cartoons, and Dexter has to repeatedly tell him, no cartoons, no, I want to watch the cartoons. Kid, I'm going to slap the shit out of you. I'm just kidding. Dexter to the station, and this is one of the first days he's glad that Deb isn't there. Briefing room time. Masuka says he's confirmed that he has a daughter. Quinn responds with, somebody let you impregnate them? Funny line by Quinn. Angie Miller, and more dialogue from this random character that they're trying to give lines to. I don't know why. Why can't we hear what Soderquist has to say? Where is Soderquist right now, actually? Dexter and Masuka are both dads. Great news, Vince, Dexter says. And I wrote again, where's Soderquist? I don't see him in the briefing room. Hopefully he went somewhere where he's more appreciated. The stabbing victim that Dexter rescued is going to survive. Batista says he's rounding up some cops to go arrest Yates, but they won't find him. Dexter's dark passenger says. Angie wonders if Quinn is his choice for sergeant. Angie says she wants more responsibility, and Batista says, good to know. Oh my god, it's Soderquist. He's got a brief sighting as he's helping a female at his desk. I think this is the first time I've specifically seen Soderquist this season. Maybe I missed him. It must have been very brief appearances. They're not using him as much as they used to use him. I do believe that's the case. But give the man some dialogue. Tom Matthews mentions to Quinn that the Hamiltons are good friends to Miami Metro, as they're the ones that are involved in the latest murder. Dexter, Quinn, and Miller go to the Hamiltons' place. He says him and Norma were having an affair. They had sex that day, but she left alive. Hamilton's son, Zach, comes outside, and Mr. Hamilton says, go inside. Hamilton says he loved Norma, but he does love his son, Dexter, but does he love his son, Dexter wonders. Zach Hamilton actually goes to talk to Dexter as Dexter is getting stuff out of his car or leaving, I can't remember what it was, and asks questions about his analysis. Zach says they're wasting their time as his dad is not a killer. Evelyn Vogel is actually attacked by Yates as he got into her house by throwing a stand. Oh, my throat's getting really dry because I've got a coldish and a sore throat. It's not COVID. A stand through her window. Excuse me. And Deb actually arrives at Vogel's shortly after and sees that somebody has broken into her home. And, of course, Evelyn Vogel is missing. Yates has a bunch of bodies buried at his house. Masuka is going over the crime scene and mentions he likes feet, but that is just cray-cray. Masuka, you're one weird dude, you know that? Deb shows up at the crime scene and she tells Dexter that Vogel's been taken. She pulled him aside to tell him this. Deb wants Dexter's help because this would be saving a life. She's willing to be a part of this because this would be saving Dr. Vogel's life, who now all of a sudden she has an attachment to. Dexter says why she didn't let him die, and Deb says she couldn't imagine her life without him in it. Yates tells Vogel he doesn't like the guy going in his house and going through his things. Of course, he's referring to Dexter. A witness at a stand places Zach Hamilton in a Porsche around the scene. Quinn and Miller find out. I stopped paying attention briefly during that part, so that's why I'm kind of just going over that really quickly. Masuka and Nikki get food, and Nikki asks Masuka to get this one as she had left her wallet in the car, her purse in the car. Tom Matthews doesn't want Quinn to question Zach Hamilton since the witness recanted their story of seeing him. Masuka goes to Elway's office. He wants to do a background check on Nikki. And I was thinking for a minute there, her name is Nikki Walters. I'm like, wasn't that the vacation murder in season 4? But that was Nikki Wald. But I thought for a second there, like they named the same character twice, which would have been a big error. But I'm like, they wouldn't have done that, would they? I know this season isn't very good, but they would really name the same character the same name. Anyway, Deb is going to help, or I should say, Masuka likes the idea of having a daughter, and Deb is going to help him out, and Nikki will know nothing about it. Dexter gets home and Jamie has Quinn and Cassie over. Jamie? No. And shouldn't she be babysitting Harrison with all these guests over? Because that's not what she's doing. She's getting bad at her job. Jamie is upset. She planned this, and she says she will leave and he will be stuck with Harrison all night long if he doesn't stay for dinner. And then Dexter's dark passenger says, serial killer bested by a 100-pound nanny. That was the line of the episode. I loved that. I'm not sure there's other lines, but that was hilarious. That actually made me spit water out as I was drinking it. Dexter talks to Cassie and gets her to tell Jamie that she's going to call it a night, and that gives Dexter the opportunity to quickly leave as well. Vogel talks to Yates about his mom abusing him when he was younger. Yates is actually going to break some of Vogel's toes. I don't know if he was just going to do one or multiple, but she starts to slap him because that gives him, memories of what his mom used to do to him, and it actually gets him to stop what he was going to do. And then she's calling him Albert instead of AJ, which really gets to Yates. I guess I wouldn't like the name Albert either, but my name's Jason, and I don't really like that name, so whatever. And Vogel, while Yates is in the kitchen because he's bleeding from Vogel's slaps, I believe. I think he got a nose broke or nosebleed or something like that. Anyway, she uses, I believe, Yates' phone to call Dexter and sets the phone down. So Dexter wonders who this is, and then he can hear Vogel on the other end talking to Yates. So Deb gets Elway to trace the phone number. It's 157 Montgomery. And then Yates finds out that Vogel called Dexter and sat the phone down. Dexter, help, Vogel says. Deb and Dexter arrive at the scene. They find Vogel in the closet. She's fine. Evelyn Vogel is fine. No broken toes or anything like that. And then Dexter notices blood on the floor, and he realizes that Yates is hiding under the bed, because that's what he used to do when his mom would beat him. He would hide under the bed. So he actually stabs and kills Yates through the bed with a pull from the frame or something like that. And Dexter's on the boat dumping Yates' body at night with Deb and Evelyn Vogel. That's got to be a crazy moment right there, because Dexter wanted to be with family, and that is what ends the episode. So this was actually a really good episode of Season 8, the best one so far. The premiere was good, and at the end when Dexter Vogel said, "You can't kill me, I don't fit Harry's code." But this had some tension, some suspense, and a lot of things going on. So I did like this episode of Dexter. So I'm going to score it an 8.7 out of 10. I know some people would give it a 10. Some people would give it an 8.5. That's what I'm giving it. My characters of the episode, well, let's start with our female character. I could give it to Deb, but I'm going to give it to Evelyn Vogel in this episode because she basically used psychology to outwit Yates. And then the male character of the episode, I'm actually going to give it to Yates because he was pretty formidable. He got away from Dexter a few times, and he had a lot of shit that he did, like all those dead bodies in his backyard, and all the shoes that he took off. So Yates is going to be your character of the episode. And then since Yates dies in this episode, rating him as a villain on Dexter, I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. I think it was really crazy, the scene where he's at the hospital or the old folks home where his dad's staying, and he takes his dad's tube out, so Dexter has to attend, or that alerts the nurses to come in, and he gets away. That was pretty crafty on Yates' part. So you've heard me ramble long enough. Now it's your turn to comment. So let me know what you think of this episode of Dexter. If you're a fan of Dexter and want to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, please consider smashing that like button. The more likes I get, the more people see this video. And I'm almost at 500 subscribers, and I really want to get 1,000 subscribers and more. I know my content sometimes is a little generic, but I'm working on ways to make it a little bit better, video by video, and then eventually maybe I'll get to the point where Cody Leach or Sean Chandler is. Probably not, but hey, man, you can dream. Because I really don't want to do my full-time job anymore. I'm tired of listening to people tell me what to do. I want to work for myself and talk about things that I want to talk about. So help me out, smash that like button, share the video with anybody that you want. Put this video on any one of your favorite social media platforms. Sound off in the comment section about what your thoughts are on this episode of Dexter. What would you rate it? Who would be your character of the episode, male and female? Your favorite moment? Your favorite line, serial killer bested by a 100-pound Annie. Love that one. And then last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button, subscribe to the channel, join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special. And JDev will return.